Point of this weekend, we'll come to that now. The London Stadium, and had the foul not been given against him, perhaps that rating might have been slightly different. But Arsenal got over the line because West Ham's stoppage time equaliser was ruled out after the intervention by the VAR. So, Jermaine, let's hear from the former West Ham striker on this decision, which costs West Ham United potentially a point and might have edged them closer to the trapdoor. What do you think?
And what I would say is, when I saw it, I didn't think it was enough. So for me, it wasn't a foul. And you see this, and the reason why I came to that conclusion is because, you know, there was a lot of stuff that was going on around it. For example, Souček there, something happening at their post. There was a Trossard situation there where he's holding Declan Rice, holding Somerville. So around it, there was a lot going on. Of course, you can argue that the Reyes obviously impeded by Pedro, but at the same time, I just felt that it wasn't enough. I felt like the goalkeeper had to be stronger, maybe more dominant. Obviously, goalkeeper, because that was always my role. You know, from corners, it was always my role to stand on the goalkeeper, stop the goalkeeper from coming. And a lot of times, you know, you get pushed, and the goalkeeper was quite strong in that situation. This is a different angle, and of course, you could argue Pedro here, his arm is impeding Raya from sort of like stretching
right across him, yeah.
Yeah, of course. But at the same time, when I first saw this, I didn't feel like it was enough to give the foul. I thought it was a goal at the time.
So, Jamie, Jermaine thinks there shouldn't have been a VAR intervention, and he is absolutely not alone. You know, there have been so many people saying that this goal should have stood. There should be no way that VAR should have got involved in this, and it wasn't clear and obvious because at the time it took them as well 4 minutes and 17 seconds.
Forget the clear and obvious bit. We don't need to just show this. I just want to mention this for 1 second, the clear and obvious. It took that long because there was so many things to look at. Jermaine just highlighted 3 or 4 of them there. And also, let's not forget, let's give them a little bit of credit here. The pressure on this decision, what it meant, not just for these 2 football clubs, what it meant for Manchester City, what it meant for Tottenham. And in a situation like that, I don't think anyone should be complaining about how long it took. Did they get to the right decision? Yes. Now, there's 2 sets of people who thought that wasn't a foul. The people who've got an association with Manchester City or West Ham.
JD?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Or there's people who don't want Arsenal to win the league. Now, the reason I think there's been such uproar around it is because there are a lot of people that don't want Arsenal to win the league. And the reason why is because what we saw yesterday in here, we see every week in the Premier League now. They were the instigators of it. This all started with Arsenal 2 or 3 seasons ago, putting 15 players in a 6-yard box. And the reason people were upset with Arsenal and feel like they've got away with it is because this is a football club, whether you like it or not, they're a team who push the boundaries in every area to try and gain an advantage. And the reason why they are disliked. The manager standing on the edge of the touchline, putting the opposition's left winger off or right back, depending which way they're going, screaming down his ear. Gabriel going down on the floor every time anybody breathes on him. The goalkeeper being the first goalkeeper who took the situation around goalkeepers going down and killing the atmosphere in the stadium to another degree. And what they do at set pieces. So that's why there's almost this feeling. They do this every week. They're pushing the boundaries every week. How have they got away with that? But that doesn't mean that's not a foul. That is a foul, and they got the right decision.
You have to judge it on what you see, of course, in that particular incident, regardless of anything that's gone before. And I think there are more than those 2 categories that might argue that this wasn't a foul and the goal should have stood. You've heard Jermaine pick things out. What do you want to say about it then?
Well, the things Jermaine picked out, and rightly so, is the holding in the box, is the pulling jerseys. Yes, of course there is. Trossard in this situation, has he got his arm around the player? And this is that Pablo he's got hold of there? Yeah, and he's the one who he's the one who ends up making the foul on the goalkeeper. But listen, I've been in that situation. Is that enough for a penalty? For me, no. Declan Rice is in a situation here where he ends up with his arms around Mavropanos. Doesn't look great, but again, would I want to give a penalty for that, or want a penalty given against me for that? At this situation,
I would.
You'd want a penalty?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get given as penalties.
But then there's a question of sequencing, isn't there, as well, Jamie?
Like
so what happens first? Even if Jermaine thought that was a penalty, is there a foul before that on
But people
Raya?
claiming, and Manchester City fans might be claiming about this, Bernardo Silva did one at Everton last week. And we weren't sitting on this show saying that should have been a penalty. Now, the reason this is a foul on the goalkeeper, and it is, whether you like Arsenal or not, don't let that distort the facts. The fact is this is a foul. Now, you could argue about the sheer tug here. I'm not going to go too much onto that because he's getting held, there's grappling late on. So you could argue he was getting held first before he did that. But the big difference is what comes now. Now, we know Pablo was getting held by Trossard, we know that. It's that. It's not even the arm on him. It's the grip. It's the holding. Now, if that arm was in the air flailing, I'd probably say it's not. It's not. But you can't grab a goalkeeper on the arm here and stop him raising his hand. It can't. That can't happen.
But Todibo does still have a handful of shit.
Yeah, and listen, if that wasn't happening, maybe that would be a little bit more contentious. Probably still is a foul. But you can't do that. And then people are crying. Today, I see social media everywhere. Arsenal get away with this all the time, week after week, week after week. I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
Has
You're going to see another angle of it?
No.
He hasn't convinced you yet.
You've got a situation here with Souček and Havertz.
Jermaine's still not convinced.
Even Pablo's being held. Listen, like I said before, there's just so much going on. But at the same time, even though he's sort of like, I just feel that's sort of like a natural position. You know, he's got his arms.
You think he's got a natural position holding him up there?
I don't think that in his head, he's thinking, well, I need to hold the goalkeeper's arm. I don't even think he's looking. He's been held himself. And I just think doing this, when the ball's in the air, I just feel that's a natural position. And because there's so much going on around it, I just don't...
You think that one's a natural position from Pablo?
I think so.
He's got hold of him, though, Jermaine. It's the grip. I don't think it's the arm even in his face or blocking him. It's the grip.
There's been a lot of whataboutery as well today, Jamie, hasn't there?
Yeah.
If that one was a foul, then why weren't these given as well?
Because I look at these situations and I go back to why people probably get disgruntled here, because Arsenal pushed the boundaries, if you like. So you see Saliba here. He's backing into the goalkeeper. Is he making it really difficult for him? Yes. He's got his arm up. Now, you could stop us still and say, look where his arm is. But when it carries on, he's not really stopping him. The goalkeeper has to do better on that one. We go to another one against Aston Villa. Gabriel, again, just pushing it as far as they can, backing into the goalkeeper. Does he elbow him? Maybe catches him there. Should the goalkeeper do better? Yes. It's not the same as what we saw at the weekend. But what is the same is what happened 3 years ago at Leicester. When we see Ben White with his hand here, he's got the grip, as we saw yesterday with Pablo on Raya. That grip is there on the glove. He then hooks him there and makes sure he can't lift that right arm up, and he's almost just using one arm. Arsenal get the ball back. Trossard puts it in the goal. Goal disallowed. So this idea constantly I've seen all day, oh, they're getting away with it. They're not. They push the boundaries as far as they can. They're the best on set pieces. But when they did what we saw yesterday, they got pulled up for it at Arsenal.
And this is what they've done in the last 5 games since losing at City. What strikes you about that, Jamie?
Clean sheets. We've said consistently on this show, Arsenal's attacking players are not going to win them the league. It's going to be the goalkeeper, the 2 centre-backs and Declan Rice. And that is what happened. The only goal they conceded is a penalty.
Talking about clean sheets, how valuable was David Raya in this? I mean, this could go down as the save of the century for Arsenal, couldn't it?
It's not his best save of the season, but it's a save that everybody remember. Schmeichel's remembered for a save away at Newcastle. A big title running. Neville Southall away at Tottenham, I remember that as a kid. This will be remembered for a long time. But Jermaine, talk about the finish.
What I'll speak about is, normally, you have to make the right decisions. And of course it happens quick. But when you look at his foot patterns, he takes an extra touch. In a minute you'll see, he takes an extra touch. And when I was watching it live, I thought, OK. But then you have to make the right decision. He tries to finish at his near post, which is the wrong choice. You have to open your body out. Thierry Henry used to do it really well. You have to open your body out, control your shoulder.
Planted right next to the ball, and then he comes through with the right foot. He's in the air now. Both feet are off the floor as he's about to take the shot. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, because he's come from sort of like this angle. If that's the goal, he's come from this angle. And I feel like You have to slow your feet down. So your foot patterns, you have to have safe, to be honest, but there.
But this one, Jermaine, just to look at this one. So his left foot touches the floor there.
Yeah.
So he touches here. His left foot doesn't touch the floor again till somewhere here.
Yeah.
As you know, that for me just doesn't seem right.
It's too wide. And like I said, the ball should be coming here. So like I said before, as you go through, you took another step, another touch, and then it should be falling over here and passing it into this corner here. But you see there, it's that wide swing, sort of like...
I always feel he's trying to be a little bit clever as well.
Yeah.
He almost knows he's going to score. It's that easy thing. I'll just whip that near.
And the reason why, probably, because he tries to sort of like generate a little bit of power to go over the top of the ball to get over the goalkeeper's legs.